fractions and mixed fractions, and today we will see about equivalent fraction. But before that, I would like to wish you all a very happy new year and a prosperous new year to all of you, and may this new year bring lots of happiness and good luck to all of us. And let us continue with the topic today. So the equivalent fractions, what do we understand by the word term equivalent fractions? Now the word itself means equivalent, means something equal. Okay, so let us take any example. For example, 2 by 3. Okay, so to find out the equivalent fraction for this given fraction, just by seeing we can make out that this is a proper fractions, because denominator is larger and numerator is smaller, a father carrying the baby son. Okay, so it is a proper fractions, isn't it? So to find equivalent fraction for this, let us, every time what we have to do, we have to either multiply or divide the numerator and denominator with the same number. Now in this case, this fraction is already in its reduced form or simplest form. Now what do we understand by simplest form or reduced form? That it cannot be further divided or reduced. It cannot be further reduced or divided or simplified. So therefore we call it as simplest form or reduced form, or also lowest term. It is in its lowest term. We cannot reduce it or simplify it further. So to find out equivalent fractions of such numbers, what we have to do, we can just multiply the numerator and denominator with any same number. It has to be the same number. Let us start with 2 and 2. So multiplying numerator and denominator by 2, what we will get? 4 by 6. So now 4 by 6 is an equivalent fraction for 2 by 3. Now again let us take this same example 2 by 3 and multiply it with the same number 3 by 3. So 3 2s are 6 and 3 3s are 9. So here we can see that whenever we have to find the equivalent fractions, we have to every time multiply or divide with the same number. This is very important, that the number whatever we are taking, it should be the same number for numerator and denominator both, to get the equivalent fraction. And in this way we can find n numbers of equivalent fraction, like innumerous equivalent fraction for any given fractions, any given questions. Okay, now let us take some other example. For example, 6 by 18. Now if I have to find out equivalent fraction for this number, now we can see that it is not in the simplest form. Why it is not in the simplest form? Because we can reduce it further, isn't it? Because there is something common in between there. There is a common factor between there. The basic which we can immediately see is 2, isn't it? So when we divide the numerator and denominator both with 2, what we will get? Because we can see this 6 and 18 in table 2, so therefore we can make out that 2 is a common factor between them. So 6 divided by 2 is 3 and 18 divided by 2 is 9. So we have got 3 by 9. Now again, therefore there is also a common factor between them is 3, because we can find 6 and 18 in table 3 also. 3 times 2 is 6. So 6 by 18 can also be divided by 3 upon 3 to get the equivalent fraction. So this will be what? 2, and 18 divided by 3 will be 6. Okay, now we can see that 6 and 18 also has a common factor of 6 itself, isn't it? 6 divided by 6 is 1 and 18 divided by 6 is 3. So 6 is also a common factor between them. Like we can find out, but it should be the same number. Whatever we do with the numerator has to be done. Either we are multiplying or we are dividing to find the equivalent fractions. It should be the same thing. We cannot divide it with something and divide the denominator with something else. We cannot. It should be, to find out equivalent fractions, every time whatever operation we are following to find out the equivalent fraction, either multiplication or division, only these two can be done to find out the equivalent fractions. So either we are multiplying or we are dividing, it should be always the numerator and denominator should be the same number. Okay, so this is, and I hope you have also understood the term simplest form or reduced form or lowest term, that they cannot be further divided into their reduced form. Now if we see 3 by 9, 3 by 9, it is again having something common in between, that is 3. So if I divide this by 3 and 3, the numerator and denominator by 3, what we will get? 3 divided by 3 will be what? 1, and 9 divided by 3 will be 3. Now 1 by 3 is in the simplest form. Okay, sometimes the question comes ki reduce the given fraction into its simplest form. And what we have to find out, like we have to check what is the common factor between them, and after getting an answer we can have to check again, is it in the simplest form or not, or further we can reduce it. So again, to find out what is the common factor between them and to divide it further, and we'll get it in the simplest. Now this 1 by 3 cannot be reduced further, so this is the simplest form of it. Now 2 by 6 also, we can notice that 2 by 6, if I divide, there is a common factor 2 in between them. So dividing numerator and denominator both by 2. So what we'll get? 1 upon 2 by 2 is 1, 6 by 2 is 3. So again we have received this 1 by 3. And we can see that every time the reduced fraction is the same. The final, the reduced one is the same, and this we have received from 6 by 18. So all these are the equivalent fraction for it, but the reduced term will be 1 by 3. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear to you. Now one more type of question arises, that we have to find the missing numbers. This type of questions also come in the same topic, equivalent fractions, that 5 by 8 is there, and this is there 24. We have to find out this missing number. Okay, now how to find out such missing number? Now we can see that this is 5 by 8 is in the reduced form, and this is 24, that is larger than 24. So what we can do here is, we can find out that how we have received 24, like what we have multiplied by 8 to get 24. So 8 times 3 is 24, isn't it? 8 times 3 is 24. So we will multiply 5 times 3 also, because numerator and denominator both has to be multiplied with the same number. So 5 times 3 will be what? 15. So here the missing number will be 15. In the same way, let us see, 4 by 7 is here, and here it is 28, and here it is box. This one is very simple, and I'm sure everybody will know the answer by now. They would have guessed the answer by now. The 28 is that this is 7. So 7 times 4 gives us 28, isn't it? So 4 times 4 will gives us what? Here it will be 16. I hope this is easy, isn't it? Now third last, this will be the last example of it. 3 by, here it is, give the box which we have to find out the missing one, 12 by 20. Okay, now here we can see this was 12, it has turned to 3. So how it has turned, and what is the common between them? There is 4. So let us see, 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. Okay, don't think of anything common factor or nothing like that. Just think how we have got from 12, how it went, like how we received 3. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So let us divide this 20 also by 4. So 20 divided by 4 will be what? 4 times 5 is 20, that is 5. 20 divided by 4 will be 5. And in this way we can get this answer, missing numbers. Okay, so this is also related to the equivalent fractions only, and I hope this is clear to all of you. What do we understand by equivalent fractions, and how we how we get the equivalent fractions? We get the equivalent fraction by multiplying the numerator and denominator with the same number. It can be any number, but it should be the same number, or dividing the numerator and denominator with the same number. If it is not in the reduced or simplest form, we can try dividing it with the same number, the common factor between them, and then we can get the simplest form, or we can find the equivalent fractions of the given number, given fractions. So this is very simple, and I hope you understood it. And if you have not, please if you have understood or not, you please comment below, and let me know how you are feeling, how you are understanding this topic. And thank you so much for being with me. Bye, see you again.